Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of What's Happening in Your Neighborhood. And I'm Scott Pemberton, and today my guest is Reverend Curtis Dias from the Calvary Church in Freetown. Curtis, welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you for
Yes.
allowing me to come today.
No, thank you. And as I start my show, I always let the person introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about yourself. So,
Okay.
it's all yours.
My name is Curtis Dias. I'm the senior pastor at Calvary Pentecostal Church located in East Freetown, and I've been there. I'm going to finish my 30th year. I started in 1995, but the church has been together ever since 1951 to now, 73 years serving the community and the church. And my background is that I like reaching out to the lost at any cost. You know what I mean? I'm a community kind of guy. I love people, and I love fourth world people, the people that's in need in our community.
Right. So you offer a lot of different programs at your church? Is it?
Yeah, what we do in our church is a unique church. Is a special church that, our theme is reaching lost at any cost. So what we try to do at church, not only the spiritual things, they call our church a soul-saving station for every nation. It's God's church,
Yes.
and we like ministering to the youth in our community, and we like feeding people and educating people. So our church is a wonderful church, a multiracial church, multi-generational church. It's like a beacon in the community,
Okay.
you know what I mean? And ever since I came in 1995, I always like reaching out to the community. One of my ministries is prison ministry. When I came in 1995, I went to Ash Street Jail, and I used to serve there in Ash Street Jail and the House of Correction
Right.
and DYS
Right.
and different things like that.
So when you say serve, you talk about, is this a service that you go to for a church service for like a Sunday school?
Yeah, what I used to,
club?
yeah, I used to go in on Tuesday nights and 7 o'clock to 8:30, and I would meet with the inmates there.
Right,
And
okay.
we would sing songs of
Okay.
different kind, give them different services, a word of encouragement. I used to do Black History Month for the
Okay.
Bristol County Sheriff's Department. I started with Dave Nelson first.
All right, oh, yes.
Then after that, Thomas Hodgson came in.
Right.
And then later on, they asked me, say, Reverend, you know how to work with people in the community? I said, I think I do. He said, you ever work with gang leaders? I said, can you define a gang leader? And they couldn't.
Right.
And so I said, you mean Latin Kings, the Bloods, the Crips, Gangster Disciples, guys from Roof Street, Nider Front, Monty Park, the guys that push a lot of cocaine, crack, heroin, gun charge, murder?
Right.
They said, yeah, that's the guys we're talking about. So they asked me to go do reintegration behind the walls. So ever since 1995 until late 2000, maybe 2020, around there, I did prison ministry.
Oh, wow.
And I used to teach there on anger management, time management, how to overcome opiate use disorder, substance
Right.
use disorder,
Okay.
and different things like that. Yeah.
Did you find it kind of tough? Because I guess we all just know them as we say gang members, right?
Right,
Is
right.
what you say. So I mean, was it tough to kind of just showing them the way or just helping them out or?
Not to me, because I come from a big family. I have 7 brothers, 1 sister, and I was raised in the projects. I was raised with white, blacks, Hispanic, Asians, Puerto Ricans, Cape Verdean.
Right.
So, I always interfaced with people in all my life. So, I was always exposed to that. And as a young age, I used to be dibbling, dabbling with drugs and alcohol, marijuana. So when I got right with God when I was 26 years of age, I went back to school and I got educated and I started learning like different subjects. So one day I was upstate New York in Elmira, and I went to this prison. I saw all these guys that looked just like me, but they were in greens. And I said, man, these guys got potential. So what happened is I started learning, and I figured these guys behind the walls, they're not scum of the earth. They're not crackheads. They're
Right.
not the. I always admire. I said there's somebody's sons and daughters,
Exactly.
and they got potential.
Exactly.
So that's how I engaged in them. And sometimes the greatest treasure in America is hidden behind the walls. All your money is behind the walls. The CDs are behind the wall. So sometimes our greatest treasure is people that's behind the walls.
Behind the walls.
So I went behind the walls for all these years, and I have seen a lot of people very, very successful, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And what I do is for the public health and public safety for the community. And I joke around, people used to call me and say, hey, Reverend, what are you doing? I said, I just got out of jail, you know what I mean?
Right, yes.
And in my ministry, I have the privilege of, you know, I know more people in jail than Yale University, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So, but my ministry, God gave me ability to deal with the upper class, high class,
right.
middle class, low class,
Right.
and people with no class at all,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
But yeah, that's one of the ministries that we do at the church also.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's good because as we know, there's today some people today just don't have the time, or they just don't have the patience to help other people or to do the outreach, with people, And so I thank you for that because it's really, it means a lot, and I'm sure it means a lot to them because you're listening to them. They finally found someone that can, and that's all they want to do. They just want to be heard.
Yeah, and it's a public safety and public health, and they're coming home. They got an EOC in the sentence, and they're coming home. And the question is, are we going to make them men or monsters? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I find that most of the guys behind the wall got a lot of potential. I mean, when they're sober, when they're clean, they're in their right minds, And some guys, if we work the system within the system so they get out the system, I would like the Harriet Tubman, the Underground Railroad. But if the guy was a father, like I'm a father, you're a father, I said, listen, you need to go to parenting class. You don't have a GED, you got to go get your GED. So what we did, if you got a problem with anger management or cocaine or crack or hell, let's go to drug blocks. So we work the system within the system so they get out the system. So most of my men that got out of the system, 98% of them used to get out on the first time. But
Yeah.
we would have to prepare them properly, you know what
Right,
I mean?
yeah, exactly.
So they come back and be safe in society and stuff like that. Yeah.
So and one of the things I noticed, I mean, it's your church. It's not just going there on a Sunday having a mass. That's it. You got all kinds of different programs for everybody that's in need of something.
Yeah, one
Right.
thing we developed that has been tremendous lately, we have this organization called Calvary Cares. Calvary Care is a drop-in center, we call it, and we got sponsored by hospitals in Boston and also the Bureau of Substance Abuse. What we did, we opened up our church 6 days a week. Because what's used to having a church open only on Sundays and Wednesdays for Bible study.
Right.
So we opened it up, and what we do one-on-one mental health counseling with people. And we work with a group called Burns and Forts, and these guys have life experience and live experience. So that means they were out there for a period of time. Then they went back and got their GED. They went get their bachelor's. Now they got their master's degree in counseling. So we do group counseling. We do peer-to-peer counseling, family counseling. So we open a center where you can get mental health issues, also health insurance navigation. If somebody in our community doesn't have Blue Cross Blue Shield, Harvard Pilgrim, and Tufts like that,
right.
we navigate so they can get mass health, you know what I
Very
mean?
good,
So
yes.
they can get a doctor, they go
Right.
get eyeglass and dentists and stuff like that.
Right.
And what we do also, we educate the public on opiate use disorder and substance abuse disorder, because a lot of people are dying, of fentanyl now. So,
Oh, yeah,
and we do workshops every single month on the education aspect
Right,
of that.
right. Yeah, I mean, that fentanyl was something else. I mean, originally was what's supposed to be a tranquilizer for elephants, right?
Right.
And then people are putting this in their body.
Yeah, and not only in their body, now, they put it in the marijuana, they put it in crack cocaine, you know what I mean? So, just a little bit, it's like 100 times more potent than just regular heroin.
Really,
you know
just by just a little bit. In
Yeah,
there.
and people are dying left and right. So what we do at our program, we have a wraparound program. So we do mental health counseling, we do health insurance counseling, we do peer-to-peer group, we do one-on-one in that aspect. But one of our workshops is, educating people how to overcome opiate use disorder,
Right.
substance disorder, also suicide prevention.
Right.
I think it's so important. I buried a young lady, 34 years of age. She happened to just be Caucasian. She was brilliant. She was bright. She was beautiful. But at 34 years, and people are suffering in silence, in our
Right.
community.
Yeah.
So we do workshops on opioid use disorder, substance abuse, how to overcome stress, anxiety, fear, OCD, intrusive thoughts, and different things like that.
Right.
So every month we have an excellent workshop, and we invite people in our community.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, I know you're a busy man yourself, because besides being on church on Sundays and the Bible on Wednesdays, you do the workshops. You also do after-school programs too, correct?
Yeah, and I thank you for asking. Part of my ministry is after-school program. I worked with an organization for a long period of time, NOSTA, an excellent organization in our community, very reputable. But many years ago, they came to me, approached me. They said, Reverend Dias, would you consider working with youth in our community? And this is New Bedford I'm talking about.
Right.
So I went to Roosevelt Junior High, and I had students, high-risk students, the ones that fail in class, and counselors, and, that live in target communities, we would say,
Right.
low income. So they gave me 20 to 25 students from the age of, I guess, from 6th grade to 8th grade. And my job was the after-school program and teach them subject. I taught them anger management, communication skills. I taught them about basketball. I talked about games, goals, and guns, and all that. And I talked about the law. But some of the people in our community, from the West End, North End, South End, low-income children, they've never been out of New Bedford.
Right.
So North Star, Maria and I said, let's do something radical for them. So what we did, we took them to places like Harvard University.
Wow,
and they've
okay.
never been to Harvard
Right.
University. And matter of fact, some of them never been on the train. So you took them on the train, I mean, before the train's coming out.
Right,
But
right.
now we took them to Harvard. We took them to Princeton University. I mean, they never been to Martha's Vineyard on a ferry.
Right.
And I used to take them to different places they never seen, Harlem Globetrotters. But at
Wow.
the same time, their conduct, their behavior, and everything else. And all the students that I had within the 4 years at Roosevelt with North Star, all of them has graduated. All of them went to, some went into the service, some went to trade school, some went to New Bedford Vocational School.
Wow.
And we find that it was one of the greatest programs in New Bedford, yes.
Well, great. So the other day I just happened to be I was on Facebook, and I'm sure we share some friends. I mean, everybody has friends of other friends, so we share friends. So one thing I did notice, and it touched my heart, I said, wow, so somebody had wrote there, they had reached out to you because it was a family that was in need of some food, dinner, and they reached out to you, and you came through.
Yeah, well, part of our ministry, and I thank you for mentioning it, everything I do at Calvary Pentecost Church, I developed, not marketing, branding, everything we try to do is Calvary Cares. So what happens is, with the spiritual connotation, that's spiritual, I want everybody to have it, but some people are not into that yet. So I developed Calvary Cares Drop-In Center, Calvary Cares Radio Hour, Calvary Cares Podcast. So one thing we developed is an excellent programs, Calvary Cares Farmers Market. Every Thursday, we feed over 120 families in our community. And I partner up with Food Plate Organization. And what I do, we put out 15 tables of food. And last week we gave out like potatoes, onions, carrots, apples, macaroni and cheese, white rice, chicken, pork loins,
Wow.
everything. And you see people come in, and they come in, senior citizens, council agent, veterans, single mothers, and we just put them outside, put out the tables, and we have been doing this for years, and people fill up the parking lot. We start serving at 12 o'clock, but by 11:30, they fill up the parking lot.
Wow.
And we do it free, and we do it in love and welcoming. So we don't ask for any IDs or
Right.
any social
Yep.
security numbers or nothing like that.
And it doesn't matter where they're from. They could be from New Bedford, Cushionet, Fairhaven, Fall River, maybe.
Yep. I don't ask them from where they come from
Right.
or whatever. Now, in my ministry, even though the church headquarters in Freetown,
Right.
with a lot of people, ever since 1995 when I came back from the university, what happens, a lot of people from New Bedford attend not only the church, but they get all the services from ours. So a lot of people from New Bedford come and all the surrounding areas. So I don't ask, well, I might for dad to say, hey, how many children do you have? You know, so I know. So if you have a family, say, of 2, I give 1 bag of food of every table. So there's 15 bags, 15 tables. So if you have a family of 4, I give you 2 of everything.
Right.
A family of 6, now you get 3 of everything.
Right, yeah.
Now that's 45 things. If you have a family of 8, I give you 4 times 15. So now
Right.
I know you're good. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
right, yeah, there's enough for everybody.
Yeah,
always enough for
and
everybody.
it's a public service and public health, and especially with the grocery prices now and the gasoline.
Right.
And you want to overcome stress.
Yeah.
Give somebody some free groceries. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Yeah.
And does it cost the church anything
Yeah,
as well, right?
The church does. What happens to the church? Part of our organization. Well, it always costs you something.
Okay, right, yeah.
Your time, volunteers, the facility. I have a state-of-art facility. All the tables, all the volunteers. You have to have a van. You have to keep the data. See, because some organizations get, let's say they get $2 million grant. Then they pay the executive director, and everybody else.
Right, exactly.
But now they have to know how to measure out and reach out. So that's where I come in. They say, hey, Reverend, hey, how about if we cut you a deal? What's the deal? I'll give you enough food for 125 families every single week. If you have a van, you have insurance, you got the volunteers, and you do it, and then you give me the data and shoot it to me so I can get the nickels and noses so I can report back. So I said, so I cut the deal with them. I said, okay, if it's going to make needs of these children in the community, that's the deal what we do. So the church does give out money if asked to make sure the program runs that way. And we have about 12 to 15 volunteers, and they're all diverse. But what a joy. Like this Christmas, we had the privilege of serving over 500 children Christmas gifts, toys, and also 300 families. You know what I mean? So what a joy to bring them all in, and you know, and I feel that. So our church is unique. We do a wraparound services and stuff. We're a small church that does big things, you know, in the community. You know, that's what we try to do.
I'm sure you put a lot of smiles on those children's faces around Christmas time.
Yeah, and we give out bikes, we give out toys, we give out clothes, but not only throughout the winter. Now we have a clothing organization, we give out food, mental health counseling, peer group counseling, education. We think that the church, we think the community at large should do that. We think that if you have a state-of-art facility, why not use it for that, you know, to meet the needs of individuals, you know what I mean? You know?
Now, you know, we talk about, you know, you help out people that just come out of jails and families in need and stuff. Homeless, we know that's a big out there. It's just there's so much homeless out there. I mean, I'm sure you have programs for the homeless that you help the homeless too. Yeah,
what I do, you know, we have individuals in our organization. One is Richard Ribeiro. He goes out into the community, and what we do, we give out hats, we give out jackets, we give out tents, we give out product for combing hair, toothbrushes and stuff like that. And what we then, if we try to get them outside the woods or the encampments and bring them to a place like House of Hope, and then we partner up with like you know, Star Organization,
so you do
High Points, or they got an organization, Teen Challenge, Salvation Army, and we, you know, because you know we believe in that. You know, I mean, to be on the streets and it's cold out there. You know what I mean? You know, you know, and they're American citizens too. A lot of them, I deal with a lot of people with mental health issues.
Yeah, that's a big issue in this state.
And people don't want to talk about it.
No.
I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the ones that has to go to Bridgewater State Hospital. I'm talking about human beings like you and I, men and women that have problems. And you can have problems in this world. If you had to pay your light bill, gas bill, telephone bill, cable bill, electricity bill, car insurance, student loan, health insurance, and all that, and you know, you can be stressed out. And sometimes we get stressed out, we get burnt out, we get overwhelmed. And I find that a lot of people have mental health issues that need to be addressed. You know what I mean? And now they say in New Bedford, there's a new classification of individual, It's the working homeless. It's people are sleeping in their cars because the rents are going so high now that they can't keep up with the situation. And when the train's coming in May, what's happened? The working poor, they cannot pay for that $2,000 a month rent any longer.
Right.
And now we're getting a different classification of the homeless now.
Yeah, right. And do you expect once that train does come in, does start in the spring stuff, you're gonna have a lot more?
No,
you feel?
I find, you know, if you live in Boston, my daughter went to Suffolk University and graduated from there. But you know, the rent in Boston, as you know, say it's $3,800 or $4,000 a month.
Right.
To come down to New Bedford and find a place for $15 to $22 a month,
right.
man, that's a steal.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I find, you know, that people are going to be coming in, and they're going to have to be pushing people out. You know,
right.
I find it might be more detrimental than we know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon.
Yeah. I hope not. You know,
right.
I hope they can balance it out. But
right.
But the common folks tell me that the taxes are going high,
yeah.
and the rent's going even higher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with these workshops here and stuff, I mean, you got one almost every month. You got a workshop going on every single month.
Yeah, what we do at these workshops. My next workshop is on February 14th, and we're going to be dealing on the subject anger management, also stress management and time management. And on these workshops, I open up to the whole community from New Bedford, all the surrounding areas. And what happens is at 9:30 to 10 o'clock, I interface and have dialogue with all those that are invited. Everybody's invited. Last month, we had about 32 people that attended throughout the whole community. And what happens is we have coffee and donuts from 9:30 to 10. Then we have a teacher, a doctor, a professor that deals on the subject, whatever subject was. Last month was opiate use disorder. This will be anger management and time management. So we, from 10 to 11 o'clock, we will have a teacher teach, and we network together, have a wonderful time. After that, from 11 o'clock, we got a state-of-art classroom. We do a TED Talks presentation for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and it's on the same subject. Then we have questions and answers.
Right.
Then after we have questions and answers, I host a luncheon, a free luncheon. Last month we went to Riccardi's, so we had lasagna, baked ziti, any pasta. So every month I do that, you know. So this on February 14th, that's what we're going to be doing, anger management, 9:30 to 10, refreshments, coffee, donuts, muffins, from 10 to 11, a great workshop, then TED Talks, question and answers, then I host a luncheon for all those that attend.
Nice.
Then you know, the following month will be mental health counseling, overcome anxiety, stress, and fear, and OCD. Then the following, overdose education. What are the warning signs and symptoms if you have a son and daughter, you know, they're dibbling and dabbling, you know things are changing.
Right,
so we discuss
you
that.
See, you've seen the behavior and stuff like that, you see.
Your behavior, your conduct,
Right.
Your personal hygiene's
Right.
breaking down, you're isolating yourself, different friends, the bank account is going,
Right.
you know, because you know your child.
Yes,
you know.
right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we educate the people, because some people are embarrassed and they're ashamed to talk about it.
Right,
you know.
yeah. And that's the thing, is a lot of people are ashamed or embarrassed. It's like, but don't be.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
You know, and you have no problem for them to come and seeing you, right? If anybody has any concern, any trouble,
And that's why our staff is so welcoming. So we always say, come to Calvary Kids, come on, drop on in. And one thing I like about our center is that when people come, they come, okay, especially for spiritual things and baby dedications, so they feel welcome in the community. But now they come for the food. Then they come for mental health. So when you come, it's no stigma, because people come all the time, oh, he's only here for the food. You know what I mean? You have to make it nice and welcoming and warm, because they are somebody's sons and daughters. You know, they are, you know. And I deal with a lot of veterans in that way too. You know.
That's good. And everybody that's there, that helping out, it's all volunteers, right? Nobody's getting paid for this? It's everybody's.
Majority, I think 90%, 95, 98% is all volunteers.
Right.
Some things, like I would hire a recovery coach. So
right.
I would hire a recovery coach that way. If we have something in our budget, the mental health commissioners that would come, and they sometimes they get $90 an hour because they're excellent in what they do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they got the master's degree, and sometimes they have insurance. But if no one has no insurance, we do everything for free. You know what I mean? And the great part about it, they say, "Oh, Reverend, how do you know about these things?" Oh, when I was a young boy, I used to play football, and in the culture, you know, you go to cheerleaders, keg parties, they start smoking marijuana. Yeah. So I have life experience and lived experience, you know what I mean? So they say, "How you know about this?" I said, "Listen, I know a little bit," you know what I mean? Yeah. Like ever since I was 28 years old until I'm 65 now, I never drank or smoked any reefer, and God cleaned me completely out, you know. So, and I've been married almost 30 years. My wife thinks I have a halo on my head, and she does. I said, "I do have a halo," and I tell them it's a little crooked though, you know what I mean? But you know, and so you have to. It's good to have lived experience and life experience, and went back to the university to study it. And I love the fourth world people, you know. I love people because I feel there's somebody just like me out there.
Exactly. Right. I mean, years of service. You said you've been doing this how long again now?
Yeah, well, I was at Trinity University in Deerfield, Illinois, and I came back in 1995 to serve the church and the community. Right. And I've been serving it, and it has been tremendous. And God has been so good to us. I mean, we have been winning all kind of awards. 1 year, Dr. Martin Luther King Drum Major Award from the University of UMass and stuff like that, and NAACP awards. We have been winning all kind of awards because people recognize you when you help out people, you know. But my professor said bright lights attract a lot of bugs, so you have to be very careful too, you know.
Exactly.
You know? But that's some of the things that we do, and I want to thank you for allowing me to come on. And the reason I came on because I heard about your passion and all the great work you're doing in the neighborhoods, and I really appreciate that.
I thank you for that, and it is, and that's why I like bringing on guests like yourself that are out there doing stuff for the community, because that's what this show is all about. It's all about the community, what's happening in your neighborhood. You know, and this is what's happening in your neighborhood. This is what's going on in your backyard.
And you know, they talk about New Bedford. I mean, I've been around so long that not only Ash Street Jail and the House of Correction and all that stuff, but on William Street, where they put the new theater, the church and stuff, we used to feed the homeless people every Saturday for years upon years upon years. All the fishermen come and everything like that. So we've been exposed to that. We've been to of course, around where the buses are at, and so we've been reaching out for a long time in our community.
Well, we have like 30 seconds. Time goes by fast. I told you at the beginning, it shows, 30-minute shows goes by fast. So, before we end the show, again, why don't you just tell everybody where your church from, where you're from, and how they can contact you if they have any information?
First of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here, you know what I mean? And I really, really appreciate it. And our church is located at 33 Burley Road in East Freetown. And we've been together ever since 1951, over 73 years serving Christ in the community. And our theme is reaching the lost at any cost. And our ministry or organization that we established is called Calvary Cares Drop-In Center, Calvary Cares Farmers Market. We want to invite everybody in our community. If you need food, if you need something, just feel free to call us at 508-763-8343. And we're here to assist, to help, man, because we're tired of people suffering and suffering in silence, you know what I mean? So but I want to thank you on behalf of the community for allowing me to come today.
Thank you. Again, we're out of time now, but thank you again, Reverend Curtis, and we'll do this again. We have more time, and we're definitely going to meet up, and we'll do this again. We'll do a part 2 or something.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, we were with Reverend Curtis Dias of the Pensacola Church in Freetown, Calvary Church. I'm sorry, I
that's good.
That wrong.
That's great.
And I'm Scott Pemberton, and that's it for What's Happening in Your Neighborhood. Good night.
Thank you very much. See?